See if it starts. Turn the mic to and bring it down a little bit. Researching other programming languages. Yeah, I guess I'm still doing that. I am still doing that. Okay, I think I'm live on Twitch and YouTube. Alright. Welcome to the stream. Still kind of waking up right now, I guess. Let me get a little bit of coffee. I also wanted to make sure, actually, wait, let me go back to the welcome screen real quick. I want to make sure that all my titles and everything are good. What is Twitch? What does the Twitch title say? Writing a C generator for, that's not really accurate. Let me change the name. Researching programming languages. That's more or less what I'm doing, I guess. Yeah, I'll update it. I should resubscribe to Mongoose. I do love his consistency. Alright, let's get back to streaming. Am I feeling... Let's do the Cowboy Bebop with the PlayStation. What's going on? Yeah, sure. Okay, so if anyone's watching, right now I kind of put all of my new thoughts for my programming language into this like file.txt. I was researching what was the language, Zig, and then throughout that I kind of wrote down all these notes. So my general plan is to kind of go language by language and then sort of like, I don't know, like form my language, I guess. I already had like a basic syntax that I was like compiling and whatnot, but now I'm trying to like actually structure the language, I guess, or like think about what I actually want from it. So yeah, current plan is to migrate this code into this new design, and then once it's all there, I'm gonna probably compare it to the old design and then merge them. Shouldn't take too long. Let's see, probably like the first hour of the stream. So let's see. If anyone has any questions or whatever, just hit me, you know, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I was gonna move the unions in. I did make a union file, didn't I? We'll copy the struct file. Okay. This is like my module declaration so far. I'm not really sure exactly how I want this. This is like the only time I have this structure, like where I have like the name, the type, and the name after it. I usually have the name first, but since we're declaring this as a module, I feel like it makes sense. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so I'll call this the canonical. Actually, no, this isn't really the canonical union, is it? I don't really have a canonical union. So yeah, this will be a standalone union. Okay, we'll say union 1. Okay. And then what I'll say too is that I kind of have this thing for like tuples where you can implicitly define a tuple, and then a struct, you can implicitly define a struct, and enums, you cannot implicitly define an enum, just because they share like similar structure to other types. And I feel like the kind of core 3 types that you can assume is a tuple, a struct, and a an aggregate because they have like distinctly different structures, so you can kind of like assume. And anything else that you need to be specific, you have to like label it properly. But this way you can kind of get like automatic deduction of certain things, and it's like usually you want a tuple when you're assuming like this. I should add a note for aggregates, but let me finish unions. But unions are also something where I want to have an explicit like information about it, I guess. This music is loud. Let's see. Oh yeah, and this is by no means a final design. I've just been, I mean, I don't know, that should be obvious with all the random notes, but yeah. If anyone has an idea, just let me know. Yeah, so union 2, you can define unions within scopes, but of course this one has to be a union. I know it's more tokens, but I don't really care about maximizing like token usage or whatever, to be honest. Let's say union 3. This will be union 2. I'll say enumerated item. Oh yeah, I don't think void's gonna be a type, so we'll do I32. Yo, Cave Goblin, what's good, man? How's it going? I saw the chat going in Discord. I don't know if you were in there. Let me see. Let me move this over real quick. Yeah, I apologize for the dead server. So I will think of something to do with the server later, but I don't know yet, honestly. But yeah, I'm good. How about you? How you been doing? How's life been treating you? I've been doing a lot of this like design stuff recently. So, you know, same old. Continuing on. But yeah, how's life been treating you? I'm good. I didn't have to go to school. Oh, okay. There you go. Oh, are you in like university? Like, what's like your thing right now? Oh, for sure. Oh, okay. I got you. Well, hey, nah, those days off were always the best, man. I swear. I think all I did back then was just play video games. That sounds so so old, bro. But yeah, like, yeah, I think all I did was just play Xbox 360 with my friends. That was it. Scope struct. Oh yeah, so we'll keep this local. This is not a struct, this is a scope tuple. How did I leave that in there? I'm turning this music too, it's kinda getting me. I sadly have to write a song for a grade. Well, that's, I mean, like, so you're not excited? You don't want to, like, I think I remember getting like an assignment like that. I think we wrote like a rap song. It was so stupid. I don't know, is it like topical or whatever? We'll get rid of main real quick and put union here. I'm making a parody of Rickroll about spring. Then we still Rickrolling out here. That's crazy. You Rickrolling the whole class. That's cool though, man. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how I want to do this. Okay, so yeah, I guess again, right now I'm just moving a lot of my ideas into their own files right now. New file, ranges.kg, range.kg. Let me move this one. Range canonical could be either inclusive end or exclusive end. 29. Okay, so I think this is probably as far as I'll need to put this here. So why did I put an O there? That's crazy. Okay, so main. Like trying to remember my own syntax. Just not sure if I want to have like dedicated error codes or not. Lots of decisions. I'm not going to comment main either. Oh yeah, I added a bunch of like comment types. So this is kind of something I made up. I don't know. I haven't really seen other languages kind of do this. I don't really care about it being unique. I saw that Zig doesn't have multi-line comments, and like I kind of realized I prefer that unless I have like a really good reason to use multi-line comments, because multi-line is just this annoying thing you need to deal with. As far as like the parser anyways. This deprecation warning thing here is kind of like I'll see. So I'll put like a little like extra comment here, a comment in the comment. Probably not. Probably will use. Just so you can have like deprecation warnings, but I'm not even sure if these belong like this. I do feel that having an explicit to do comment would be really nice, just so like they can kind of like show up in the linter. And you can do things with the to do comments. I didn't really see any reason to split up the doc comments into like top level doc comments versus like doc comments that end up throughout the code base. Like I just figured you could just put a doc comment at the top of the file and that's a top level one, so probably fine. But yeah, I added this like multi-line delimiter, so you can like basically add multi-lines wherever you want. I kind of realized in Zig like sometimes you want to have multi-line regular comments, but you can't really denote those. But then you have an automatic ability to like it's hard to express that. Like let me just write a Zig file. New file main.zig. I'll get rid of this in a second too. Like if you have like a regular comment, hello, right? It doesn't continue it automatically, but if you have a doc comment, it continues it like this, right? it automatically does it for you. Pretty convenient. But I could definitely see situations where you would want a multi-line single comment. So I assume if you have like this kind of delimiter, it would continue it, type of deal. So that's what I was thinking. I was thinking of adding more, but I don't know. We'll see. This is more than enough, I think, for right now for comments. I have finished lyrics, I think, but I still have to add music and sing. I thought about adding my face to the face. Oh, put it on top of Rickroll. Again, I'm still surprised Rickroll is like relevant. That's wild. So you have to make a video and then like post it. I thought it was like an in-class thing. Or my assumption would have been like, it was like a presentation kind of thing. Okay. Well, you have a lot of freedom then. Does it have to be super long? Oh yeah, see, I'm using my comments right here. I love these as comments. It's like, I'm not sure if I want this, I'm not, yeah. Yeah. All right, you should be able to define a range at the top level. I know different languages handle the, like, I remember Zig has a specific name for like file level defines. I can't remember. I think it's container. Yeah. For now, I'm gonna keep it simple, but until I have a reason to make it more complicated. But yeah, range canonical. I'll say like this. May stores an indexable range, a continuous indexable range. I would say for now, it doesn't necessarily need to have like a integer type. I think that can be resolved. Okay, I gotta be careful with that though. Actually, let me put a note here. We'll probably actually that's more of like a general thing. Okay, well, I don't know. Oh, hold on. Let me see. I'm trying to think. Will not resolve to a specific integer type for now. We'll make that decision when we get to casting, and that's more of like a language level semantics thing. I need to figure out indexable range. I think it's pretty obvious what the structure should be. So inclusive, exclusive, yeah. So I'll say range 1. Range shortened. Only 2 options. Only 2 options. Must be explicit. And then I'll say range 2, range 3. Okay, that's good. The instructions didn't say how long is the max. My second idea was to remake my country's anthem. I mean, yeah, if you want to like, what is it called? Like that seems pretty safe. I feel like. I always hate when they don't give you like explicit like highest range for like assignments. That always pisses me off. But yeah, I mean, as long as like the content feels like it hits all the marks, should be fine. Hey, I mean, I know you said you're sad you have to do it, but I do hope you enjoy making your song, man. Let's see, range 4. Yeah, I think you're gonna need to explicitly. Actually, I should make that a note. Also a note. Also note. Implicit ranges, not canonical version must be explicitly declared. Okay, now say 0 ... less than 40. Exclusive. I mean, I'm not sad about it, but it's just that I have to make something. Yeah. I feel. Exclusive and implicit defined. Well, feel free to work on it, man. If you have any ideas, let me know. I should be on for a few hours. I think I gotta go probably like 8. I need to take my wife to school. You know, like a university thing she gotta do. Scoped range. So yeah, you can define a range scoped. Then 0 ... less than equal ... equals 50. Inclusive, implicit, scoped. If that wasn't already obvious, yeah. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I'm not really trying to showcase every single possible thing with it. I just want to get it in there. Okay, yeah, fall through, probably not. We'll see. Also, did I write a canonical switch statement or a match statement somewhere? I did. Okay, so let's move this down. It said use Rust. Yeah, I mean, I used Zig as the first like language to look through. I'm actually looking through Rust right now to kind of like take ideas from. I was gonna go originally do Zig, then Odin, then Rust, but then I kind of realized I wanted to do Rust and then maybe figure out, because Rust can be pretty verbose. So I was thinking like I can look at Odin after and maybe like figure out like what things I might want to clean up or whatever. I don't know. I'll see. Yeah, let me move this fall throughout though. Let's see. But yeah, no, yeah. Like I'm gonna check out Rust right now. Actually, it's funny you said that. I've been looking through the Rust by example book. That's the one I've been looking at like so far. Let's move this one. Yeah, we have ranges. Okay, so yeah, canonical. So we're gonna move this whole thing into the match option. New file, match.kg. What's your fave language? I mean, I can tell you the languages that I've used the most, but favorite language? That's tough. I don't know. From the ones that I've been like researching, okay, so I've used C++ the most. That was what I wrote my original engine in. Yeah, it's definitely not my favorite language. It's kind of the language that drove me to like start writing my own, to be honest. I like C, but I do hate the like amount of the amount of like UB and the amount of like mental overhead that you need to like incur just to write the code, you know? I feel like it's like one of the easiest languages to like learn, but then the hardest languages to like master, you know? I do like Rust. I would say like the cleanest language I've seen so far is Odin. Although there are certain things about Odin that I don't like, but I'd say like syntax wise, I like it the best. Although I've been looking into like Kotlin and like Kotlin, Swift, and Go. I want to look more into those because I've heard good things about Kotlin syntax. F Rust, all my homies hate Rust. Yeah, is there like a particular reason you don't like Rust, or like it's just complicated? Yeah. I don't like how it like forces you into a certain style of coding, which I get is like its mission statement, you know, but yeah, it really feels like you're fighting with it most of the time. I have a different idea about like how I want my language to kind of feel, but I also kind of already understand that like it's a bit of it's like a per taste thing, you know? So I don't know. Tough to say. Like, you know, some of the language decisions, everything, you know, what people like and whatnot. What was I gonna put here? Okay, so let's make the main. So I did kind of steal some of the syntax from Odin. I know Odin does the double colon for declaring constants. I did not use that so far. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough to. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, honestly. What you building right now? So I took a lot of notes of like things that I wanted, from my language. Okay, so I guess I'll explain like where I'm at with this. So I've already written like a parser, tokenizer, and a C generator. I didn't do any like, basically like, you know, like I already have like the basics of a compiler. I haven't done any like semantic analysis yet. I just wanted to get something like outputting and working. So that's kind of like where I got with it. It does technically work. You can run the code. It transpiles from my language into C. But the first thing I wanted to do with my language was bootstrap the compiler, you know, as sort of like a test on how if I can like clean up the compiler. No, not using Linux. I do want to migrate to Linux eventually. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like Windows over time is getting less and less defensible. But also, you can't ignore Windows though. You gotta support it for like applications. Oh yeah, it's tough to say. But yeah, I do eventually want to move over to Linux. One argument I've heard though is that like it is easier to develop, like if you develop for Windows, it's easier to develop like go to Linux because like the syntax is easier for the POSIX functions. But going the other way around, like the other way, like if you develop for Linux first and you go to Windows, you have like a harder experience. Just because of like the Linux stuff is like better designed, like the inner structure, you know, the POSIX functions or whatever. Windows just be doing whatever the fuck. It's kind of annoying. yeah, like like it's like the unfortunate thing you just have to deal with, you know. Yeah, I mean, I was doing the full like Visual Studio Code thing before, you know. I was gonna use Vim, but I'm gonna be honest, I'm too fucking lazy to learn all the fucking things, you know. That's a skill issue on my part. All right, so this is the canonical match statement. So what did I want to say about this one? Okay, let's assign a canonical match statement. So we'll say, okay, well, okay, that's tough, yeah. So match statements, for the rest of them, like it did make sense to have them as top level, like assignable as top level types, you know. But match statement, I do want to have the return value thing, you know, like in Rust where you can return a value. But yeah, there's not much use in doing this like outside of a scope, you know, like in like a function or whatever. So let's move all of these into the main. I have to go. Oh, for sure. Thanks for dropping by, Danny. Appreciate it. Oh yeah, I was gonna do module example. There we go. Okay, I'll put like another note for myself. Showcase return from match statement. I think this should just be in like a comment, I think. I probably shouldn't assign it to anything. You should add like a Discord bot that sends a text. You know what? I think also right now I should just send a message saying that I'm live. Let's see. At everyone live right now. Oh, I put it. I sends it to you, GC and Goblin. I'm done. Wait, let me fix this. I thought I put everyone. The autocomplete's crazy. Everyone. I'm like, you already know I'm live. There we go. but yeah, no, you're right. I should get a bot. I think I saw a tutorial online. I just haven't bothered to do it. Yeah, I just sent the guy. You saw that? Let's see. Match canonical. I'm gonna keep this in like a comment block. Yeah, we'll do this. It'd be kind of nice to have like a markdown format or something. I don't know. I'll see how the documentation stuff shakes out and go from there. Instead of trying to like just invent stuff for like maybe ideas, that's the trap. Let's see. Value. Oh yeah, this does showcase it. Okay, so you know what? I don't think I want to showcase. So we have the value that we're okay. Return type. Okay, so that would technically work, right? So I'll put a comment here saying, oh, wait, it's your birthday soon? Happy almost birthday, man. Another year around this sun, I suppose. Do you like super celebrate your birthday over there, or is it like kind of like is it like a whole party or whatever? My family didn't. We had parties growing up, but it was usually pretty light. Not a giant, just a small party. Oh, okay. I think I remember my sister. No, it was funny. I remember my parties were like, they were always like, you know, a few friends, whatever. And then I remember my sister had like a whole like block party whenever she had one. That was good for her though. I think she really enjoyed those. Whenever she had those, I just stole as much food as I could. Let me put these notes here actually. Let's see. Oh yeah, let's put a note here too. We'll put like this. Syntax, like fall through that. And let's put a question mark on this one. But like that. I don't like that. Follow through, huh? It's not. To match C style switch fall through. Yeah, but just a maybe. I don't know. And then put a note here, say regular match. The can have optional return value. And return 6. Yeah, I know Rust has like it drops this, and you can just do this. I'll think about it. I'm keeping this delimiter for now just for consistency. And then just adding this on top like this. I know it's a bit more verbose, but I'll see if it really becomes that much of an issue. I'll switch it over. Optional return value, expression, pattern match can be for now is a can be value, range, or range for now, like this. So we define a using a u32, and then we match, and then we don't have a return value, so it just prints this, right? Oh, and you know what? If I'm doing print, I might as well be consistent. Print import std dot debug dot print, and maybe let's be explicit. We'll say that is a func, something like that. I have this, like, you can either implicitly import it or you can explicitly import it. I know there's two ways of doing that. Kind of annoying. Whatever. Did I figure out the module thing for this? I remember I added the module rules. I remember I wrote down like my module rules somewhere and I forgot where I put them. This is why I'm organizing all this stuff. I'm getting lost in all my notes. Did I not write it down anywhere? That's interesting. Oh yeah, it's kind of annoying. Okay. Ranges. Oh, I put the imports. Okay, it was in imports. My bad. Okay, so I did use the dot syntax for like submodules. So does it even need to be a string? I don't know. Guess I'll find out later. Is this still? Let's just use the ARM syntax. Yeah, if it's a single expression, you can just do that. You don't have to do the semicolon. Or maybe that's a consistency issue, I don't know. Also, I'm not sure if I want to have a default keyword. I know Rust does the underscore, and some other languages do that too as well. And I do use the underscore in other places, so it might be nice for consistency's sake. Yeah, I think I'll leave the underscore for now. Let me make a note too. Still thinking about either underscore or default or something else, or default case, or everything else case. Yeah, it's all consistent. I think so. Yeah, I know Zig does the thing where like it doesn't necessarily evaluate it until it needs to. I think Go takes the approach of like it needs to know what it is once it's actually in the runtime. And I know Zig does that because of the comp time thing. I don't know. I need to look at some more languages, and I don't think I have enough context of like different languages to make a decision. Generics, I don't know. Yeah, I think that's still kind of how I feel about generics right now. That's more of a principle though. Generics.kg. I will put some notes though. I do not probably want oh no, okay, no. I do want trait system. I think I'm gonna call them interfaces though. One thing I was thinking was I want to do sort of a C++ style, like not like the brackets and everything, but sort of a C++ style generics where you can just define them. You don't need to specify a trait or anything. You can just do it and then let the compiler just sort of roll on it. But with that, I would try and do a little bit more, have a little bit more explicitness with it, where if you do hit an error, it'll tell you specifically what didn't correctly like translate over in the generic. Like it won't just like give you a random error in the call site. So that would require having like extra phases for the compiler. Like you have one phase where you like find the error because you instantiated the template, and then you have a separate phase after that that would like call back and like give you like a pretty error saying like, hey, that generic you tried to like instantiate did not have the correct syntax. And then the idea is like you can do that and then you can evolve it into an interface, and then the compiler would kind of help you evolve it into an interface, and that would be like the ideal scenario, but you're not sort of locked into it immediately. But that's the idea anyways. So allow C++ style automatic generics, but move / incentivize explicit interfaces. Oh, another thing, I do not want template specialization. I think that opens up a whole can of like worms of like not knowing control flow and stuff. I don't like that. I think the solution to that would just be to just be more precise with your interfaces. Of course, that has implications for like other things, but we'll get into it. But yeah, I like it to be more straightforward than that. Now, what was the other thing? There was one other thing that I didn't want. that I think C++ has in their template system that I just don't like. It confuses things. Oh yeah, no C++ concepts. No C++ concepts. Interfaces slash traits are the answer for this. Because I don't think it's useful to act like the duck typing is precise. It's kind of what C++ concepts does. I'd rather just be explicit with the interfaces and say, hey, this is what I actually expect, right? C++ concepts, it's easy to shoot yourself in the foot if you're not careful with it. And if you're not going to be explicit about it, I'd rather you just not be explicit in the first place. Don't act like you are being explicit. Yeah, so no C++ concept style. I think that's all the notes I had for this. Or maybe, let's see. What was the other note? Actually, I think I had one more thing. Never mind. What was the other thing? Interfaces. Okay, well, we'll leave this for now. This is good enough for like notes. Declarations, I think this goes in principles. Top level definitions. File level definitions. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure how I want to handle like public. So one thing I will say is that by default, all definitions are file local. Yeah. And then we'll say here, scoped definitions. By all scoped definitions are only available within this scope, within scope. I don't know, I guess that's kind of obvious, but it's good to say. I'll put some examples here. By default, all definitions are file local. Yeah. One idea I had, maybe I'll put it in the you know what? I think I'm gonna rename this to modules. Importing all imports work through the module system. I'll put a period after this. What else do I want to say? Ooh, all inputs work through the module system. Submodules can be accessed using the dot operator. exported symbols can be accessed from the module. Directly. But I don't want like an import statement that pulls everything into the namespace. I want something that still has a name. Just, you know, I feel like that's like a cleaner way to do it, period. I always hate the whole like importing everything. I'd rather have things be named to begin with. So you can import the module and then just like specifically decide what you want from there. Much clearer what's going on. Was there anything else I wanted to say about this? I don't know. Well, we'll come back. Oh yeah, initialization. So this definitely falls into initialization or into definitions. Put this right here for now. Okay, so we have I'll say most definitions are available, definable in both the file level and scope level. So I'll just do the same thing here. I'll say probably like this. I probably should say something about shadowing at some point. But I need to be careful with that. That has a lot of like hidden implications I gotta think about. I'll say yeah, I remember Zig has like a few specifiers you can put on top of like file level like data, like yeah, file level data, I guess. Like you can have like a thread local. I do like that as an idea. You can also have, actually, let me go back and look at Zig. Try to remember what they had. Like thread local. Yeah, there we go. So container level variables, yeah. Yeah, you just define them here. But what was the lifetime of these? Have static lifetimes and or I think that's fair, like file level static. Yeah. Yeah, they can be declared inside of here, that's fair. Yeah, I never understood this part though. It's also possible to have local variables with static lifetimes. Like, I mean, I know this from C++, you just put static in front of something, but I didn't get the syntax for this. Const s struct. Like, why does it need to be in a struct? That just seems like complicated. Can you just put a keyword for this? I know there's a lot of issues with C++ style static variables too, so I gotta be careful about that. I'm just gonna put a note about that because for the most part, if you're writing like, you know, good, quote unquote, good code, you don't need them. But if you're trying to experiment and explore, it is very useful. So yeah, let me put a note. File level variable declarations. These are also file local. These are have static lifetimes. Lifetimes. Yeah, if you need to export any of this, it should be done with like an export statement. I do like the idea of thread local, but I got to be careful about how I decorate it. Why ever put a global var inside of a function scope when it can be a global scope as usual? I mean, the only reason I could think of is just like I don't know, just ergonomics. Because I mean, like globals in general are already like a bad idea for like a final design, but if you're just trying to test something, you just want something to be static there. You plan getting rid of it later. I could see the usage of it. I know there's that whole argument of like, but if it's a bad design, why put it in the language in the first place? But I can still see the usage of it. I don't know. I'm just gonna put it as undecided for now. Decide if we want to use scoped static lifecycle lifetime variables, and I'll put this inside of a scope. These have static lifetimes. And is there anything else to say about these? Yeah, it's just those are the main two things. I just want to put them as like some value right now. I'm gonna describe that part separately. I'm gonna say you can define those like that. And then scope variables. It should be obvious, but I'll just put it anyways. Have current stack lifetimes. Also, I need to put a note here. Figure out shadowing policy. Yeah, that's a big decision I need to think about. Well, I don't know if it's like a big decision, but it has implications. Let's have current stack lifetimes. Also, yeah, yo, Saka, how's it going, man? Sorry, I just realized. Have current stack lifetimes. So I'll say immutable by default. Immutable by default. So var1 const1 is i32 is equal to negative this. var1 mute in front of it. u32 is equal to 5,000 I'm gonna take that whole thing from my old notes and probably move it over here too. The where is it? Not this one. Yeah, like this whole thing I went on about. Probably move it over here too a bit later. Decide if we want scoped. Okay, I think that was it. Let's go back. All right, aggregates. That's why I decided to call these. Like whatever is like an actual instantiation of something. I know Go has that policy where like it needs to know what the type is once we instantiate it. And again, Zig kind of has the comp time like delay it policy. So I'll see what I want, but for now we'll just keep it open-ended. Love some Rajasthan, India, for sure, for sure. I mean, I don't know. I don't have an opinion, but for sure. Did I paste that? Welcome to the stream, though, man. New file aggregates.kg main. Okay. Yeah, for the most part, I don't want to encourage putting aggregates in the file level. Actually, no, they might be useful in the file level. But for now, I'll just put it as like a comment, like once I like figure out the usages of it. So will want to define aggregate values at file level. And we'll move these in the scope level. So this is something that could like initialize like a tuple, right? This is something that could initialize like a, you know, like a struct. I assume the semantics can kind of get blurred with those two, but yeah, well, it should be pretty definable. I'm at the stage where all my code looks horrible after not touching something for like 1 to 2 weeks. Everything becomes a mess. Oh yeah, I mean, I definitely feel that about my compiler. I don't want to look at it right now. I'm not sure what's the cure. Adding comments to make it seem more final. Everything is stuck in an unfinished state. I mean, I don't know. I believe in you, Zaka, and I know you're a good coder. I feel like you'll figure it out. I just gotta keep working, you know, to get through it on my part. Gotta keep working. Or as all the AI bros will tell you, just tell the AI to do it. Just tell the AI to do it. I have like 60 to-dos related to each single part of the engine. And they seem demoralizing. Hey, again, Zaka, I believe in you, man. I believe in you. Even if you're stressed, I got faith. You got it. Yo, what's good, operator? How's it going? How you been doing? I'm on like a random stream right now, so I don't know. You probably have the same issue before each rewrite. Yeah, I am dreading, because right now, like my design, I was about to bootstrap my compiler with my language, and then I realized I need to define my semantics better to like actually make it like a cleaner option than C. So that's why I feel like I'm stuck on this problem of like designing it again. But I don't know, I gotta push through it, you know. I had this kind of thing happen early on, but I believe a lot of it has to do with what words you use for variables and functions. Yeah, it's just the, what does it call it? I feel like there's so many things I feel like that contribute to just that like code fog state, you know. It's like, oh man, I don't want to deal with this. Yeah, I don't know. It is stressful. I'm good. Got a new job. Okay, there you go. Let's go, man. Are you feeling pretty good about the job, or like where are you at with it? You still like orientating or whatever? Positional aggregate. Okay. So is this like 3 types? I know I have like a named aggregate. I gotta be careful with the type aggregate. I want to keep them distinct. I had this idea for like my reflection. Let me see if I can find it. It's like, it's basically like this, like it's like a reflect keyword, and then it gives you like type info, and then you can like kind of parse it like it's a like a tied union kind of feel. But I really need to figure out how different languages do reflection first. I don't want like full reflection, just inspect the types at runtime. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I tend to write functions to give them names like determine and choose, but those are basically the same thing. Yeah, I feel like sometimes like the code, some of the names end up feeling very samey, like especially if you have like a million context variables. It's probably or like a million like, or I guess if you start like wrapping everything in a design pattern, you have like 10 factory patterns everywhere. Yeah, no, that's like a code smell or whatever. I don't know. I don't have enough. I don't have a good enough say to make a criticism about it. I'm not sure if comments are, if doc comments are good long term. So yeah, like here's my current. This one, actually, you know what? Maybe this one seemed kind of necessary. The deprecation warning. I do like this one. This just feels like nice to have like a kind of like a to-do note, you know. Doc comments, I'm gonna keep it just 1. I know Zig has like top level doc comments versus like regular doc comments. I'm just gonna keep them as 1 because I do like the idea of just having doc comments. I kind of stole like the Zig thing where it's like if you define a comment, you can't have multi-line comments. You have like I have like a explicit like grouping thing here, but honestly I don't know. I'm gonna read some more languages and see what else they do. Oh, I got you. But I mean, still topical though, because I was thinking about it. I was like, I don't know. You could like embed a whole like markdown thing in this too if you want to, but that seems super necessary. I haven't started the job yet. Oh, sure. All right, let me know how it goes though. Initially, all code written seems obvious, but then that might change. But adding comments adds more visual bloat overall. Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree with if you can get your ideas across in the code itself rather than the comments. That's usually better. For sure. It's bartending and gaming, aka slot machines. We call them pokies here, short for poker machines, but they're slot machines. Oh, okay. Wait, that's like where you're working? I might be out of context, I don't know. Use comments until you completely understand it. I like to write bugs, notes, possible fixes at the top of my CV file and comments. I was talking about general, like design, will do. Oh, okay, yeah, I got you. Wait, it has slot machines at the pub too? Or, that's kind of cool. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Yeah, I guess like American pubs are kind of boring. It's just get your alcohol and get the hell out. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any frame reference. sometimes the bars here, they have like, you know, like a music bar, and they'll have like a pool table. That's about it. But I haven't gone to a bar with my friends in a while, so. Go probably takes a cut from it. Has the worst gambling in the world. That's why it's allowed and all that. I got you. Hey, I mean, sometimes, yeah, that's fair. Hey, sometimes you need to go and get a drink, you know. Fuck it. Yeah, damn, they do prey on you when you're drunk though. That's fucked up. Yeah, let me move back from this reflection stuff though. What was I doing just now? I think I was adding a new one. I forgot. Oh yeah, aggregates. Yeah, I was talking about aggregates. So can initialize variables with aggregate. And for now, I would assume you could assign an aggregate by itself. I find, you know what? I might put a to-do on this because this is like a semantics thing. Decide whether standalone aggregates are useful, because there's a lot of variables with that, isn't it? So I think use comments as much as you want. Then when you need to refactor code and refactor comments, most things about AU I see on the internet are negative. To be honest, if it's a solo project, you know you won't go back to the code set and forget, save your time. Wait, I think use comments as much as you want. I mean, yeah, that's fair. Like if you are working on something and you know, like, again, I feel like it's all like context dependent. I mean, the main thing is making progress. I definitely do agree with that. But it is tough nowadays in like the age of AI, where like everyone feels like they're going at light speed, but then you're leaving behind a trail of bugs. So yeah, it's tough. Oh wait, let me get my music back. Let's find something else. Yeah, Skyrim's a little too quiet though. Yeah, let's do Chrono Trigger for now. No, YouTube's gonna get mad at me. Let me hide that. Okay, wait, let me catch up with the comments. Let's see. It's getting worse too. They got passed a law about the ASIO terrorist police force to take anyone anytime for any reason, hold them up to. Oh, that's scary. And it's legal to tell anyone that because it took you. It's truly draconian and important. Dude, I don't know. Like, it's like kind of feel like the ice situation too. I don't know. Yeah, it's just scary though. Not gonna lie. What languages are you working on? Currently trying to pick up C# after struggling to find a job with Next.js, TypeScript, and React. I do plan on researching C#. I think I had like somewhere in my file. I had like a list of languages I was like gonna go through. Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah. Oh, you know, I had a few other ones I wanted to look at too, but they're again, this list is not like I might not go through all of them. It's just like kind of wants to haves, you know. I kind of wanted like a small talk just for fun. I hear the messaging things kind of fun. I also hear like delegates in C# are pretty good, so I kind of wanted to look at that too. But small talk, and there was another one I wanted to look at. I can't remember the name of the other one. But right now, I'm currently going through Odin, Rust, Zig, and probably C3. C3 in particular, I just wanted to see like what a language that is like strictly trying to just be a C replacement. Like that's its whole goal. I wanted to see what they're doing. So right now I just finished Zig, or like finished. I already looked through the documentation, I guess. I'm going through Rust right now, and then I'm gonna go through Odin. And I guess my idea behind that is like I'm probably gonna get a lot of ideas from Rust, and then I'll probably refine it with Odin. And I'm probably gonna stop with C3 just to like I just want to see what they do. I don't know. And then I'm gonna look through Ada and Eiffel because these are kind of core to like the thing that differentiates my language, I guess, or like my differentiating idea. And then I was gonna look through Kotlin, Swift, C# and Go because I hear like, you know, delegates are cool. I hear the way they handle multi-threading is pretty cool and async. And I hear Kotlin in particular syntax and C# is pretty cool. Autoban. Right. Did it autoban? Let me see. I don't know. I do have I remember Operator showed me what is it called? Seribot? I think it autobans them, but I'm not sure. I kind of just let it go or I let the bot go, so I guess we'll see. I mean, if you have, I guess if you have a real issue with it, you can just message me on YouTube or on Discord and I'll fix it. But I don't have a big enough following to, to be saying all that. Is NZ better in general for normal life? I don't know. At least ICE can have a reason. C#. Yeah, I don't know that whole thing. C# to my understanding is like C++ without a header file and less functionality. There's a lot of things that C# did do that is like nice, and something, you know, I mean it is like an IL language, you know, so it is like interpreted. It can like JIT compile, so you can get some of the same performance. There's a lot of like nice styling things in C#, you know, that's just better than C++. And they're more like opinionated, you know. And there's some semantics in C# that are just nice in general, like the way they handle async. But that's as far as I know. I embedded C# into like my scripting language before, or into my engine before. It's pretty nice to work with. But the OOP part of it, I'm not a huge fan. So, but that's just because it's an OOP language. I don't know, like whatever. C# and Go is equals bad. I mean, I know Go was developed by what was it, Thompson and Friends, right, too. But it's still kind of Microsoft affiliated. What if real humans type that or bots? Message deleted can be Siri or your mod settings. Ah, yeah. But yeah, if anyone has an actual issue with the bot, just let me know. Like, I don't have an issue with unbanning or whatever. Did you end up checking out the D language? I haven't yet, but I've seen a lot of things about it. There are parts of it that I don't like some of the like RAII stuff. Like some of it feels very C++y, you know. But I think D and F#. I know F# is like kind of its own thing, but it's more like functional, whatever. But, or if I remember correctly, I think I chose C3 in particular because I think it was the most direct like C replacement one. That was like its goal, anyways, to like look at. I'll put a note about it though. I might look at D and F#. Yeah, a lot of the semantics are pretty much the same. And then that's also why like I wasn't really going to look at what was the other one? The one people talk about nowadays, or I guess not nowadays, a few years ago. What was it? Carbon? That one was like more of a direct C++ replacement, but it literally just takes C++ isms and that's about it. And makes it feel rusty, the syntax, but it still does C++ things. But yeah, I might take a look at it. I think the docs are pretty approachable for D, from what I've seen. He's the same for DirectX. Zach said, hell no. I'm dead. Yeah, I don't know if anyone has any like interesting language, not any interesting language recommendations, let me know. Not brainfuck though. Let's see. I mean, I did kind of want to have a path for writing assembly as like a, because you know you can do that in C++. You can write assembly directly for certain situations, but I got to be very careful how I expose that. So that's like a very hard maybe on how I do that. That also feels like on the same line as like SimD as well. And also I'm transpiling to C, so I'm right now I'm kind of giving up a lot of like control, so I gotta be careful. That might be later when I start like trying to compile it myself or try to write the backend myself for fun. I might learn a little bit more. Yeah, it's the most direct language, but then of course you got to deal with getting it across boundaries and stuff. I mean, I guess one nice thing is you don't have to handle like all the different like integer types and stuff. Nowadays, you can kind of assume x64. Architectures and stuff, but yeah. Still different instruction sets and stuff. And I do want to be able to export to multiple platforms, so gotta be careful about that. I will put a note about assembly though. That's a fair point. But yeah, these are like these are the core ones. Everything else here is kind of optional. Like I had some functional languages I want to look at. I just chose these two in particular. Like Haskell's the OG, and I heard good things about Clojure. I wanted to look at TypeScript and JavaScript just for the idea of like writing like a web server. Not for the syntax itself, but more just like I want to see like how people develop these kind of like things just to see if like there's anything to take away from that. But yeah. Assembly looks like computer A. Java is clean, I think. I mean, the one good thing about assembly, like if I do lower my like, because you know you have like what is it, the tokens, right? And you move that into like a parse tree. It doesn't necessarily need to be this specific. Then you move it to an AST, and it doesn't necessarily need to be like this. But and then like you'd have maybe some IR, like another IR from AST, like a 3 code, and then like that might naturally translate into like assembly. Oh, but this is like a 3 code IR. It looks pretty similar. It has different semantics though. But like if I ever get to the point where I'm writing this myself, then it might be interesting to translate it to assembly. Right now, I'm just at this point. Tokens parse tree AST for the compiler. Oh well, actually, and then what is it? The fucking output, C output. Assembly looks like you're writing directly to each bit memory. Yeah, I mean, I think in my I was just doing oversimplification. I don't think I really have a parse tree per se, because of course the Pratt parser or whatever, like the top-down recursive descent one, whatever, it just goes straight to AST for like some things, you know. I was just saying like for general argument's sake, or the flow or whatever. Do you know why you might need a parse tree? Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going with what I got right now. I haven't even really gotten into semantic analysis yet, so I can't say fully. Symbols like you were writing directly to each bit memory. Yeah. You're filling the registers and doing everything manually. And then you gotta think about SIMD and stuff. It's needed because it stores full source information, which is required to do formatting and LSP server work that might go with partially incomplete code. Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah. AST usually is a cut down version that doesn't store all the comments in white space. Yeah. I haven't gotten into the LSP stuff yet, but I do plan on doing that. I mean, I guess like my current goals right now is like bootstrap the language, right? Like right now, or I guess before I bootstrap, design lang that's actually better than or easier to work with. Not better than C. Easier to write than C. Then I want to bootstrap. And then after that, I'm probably going to add some more better semantic analysis. But just some basic semantic analysis. And I think at that point, I'm going to go back and start writing the LSP. And then I think even there, I'd probably start with just like a token style. You know, like it just queries the tokenizer, and then you get like you know, token coloring, and then I can start, and then I'll probably replace that with a full LSP. Lumpy space princess. Let's go. Yeah, I think right now I think I just drop comments completely at the tokenized phase. Of course, if I need to like use this information somewhere else, I'm probably gonna I might store out of band in like a separate array. I don't know. Oh, decisions. We'll see. We will see. Lumpy space princess. I mean, yeah, I'm definitely not writing a specific thing for what is it called? A specific what is it called? Formatter for Vim and every single type of thing. Definitely using LSP. Is it still your language, your engine you're working on? This I would say is its own project, but I do want to use it as like an underlying for the engine. Yeah. Again, the underlying motivation, I guess, for this was just I was writing a lot of code. I mean, I got it. There's multiple justifications for this, I guess, but like one of them was reflection, and also I was just getting pissed off by C++. I could have just used Odin, but I kind of felt strongly about like the design by contract idea, so I guess that's why I'm here. Yeah, there's quite a few like opinionated like language ideas I have, so I'm like thinking about, but like just the fact that like I think for my engine, if I go here, let me open this up in the file explorer, and let me go to the engine, right, to the source. So if I go to my source, clock. Let me see how many lines of code this is. And that's where I'm making a point. I'm not just trying to like show lines of code. Yeah, the engine's only like what? Wait, is it really only like 8,000 lines? I just swore it was more. Maybe there was something. Oh no. Okay. I'm like, wait, no, that doesn't make sense because it's most of my code's in the modules. Never mind. I'm like, wait, what? Okay, yeah, let's let this run for a bit. Okay, yeah. So the engine's like 50k lines, right? And then if I go back, the editor. Let's clock the editor. All my dependencies are in a separate folder, so this is just engine code. Yeah, the editor code is 24,000 lines, and this kind of pisses me off because I feel like I don't need 24,000 lines of editor code. I feel like this could probably get reduced down by quite a bit if I just had like better reflection and then like better semantics about like my types. And there's a lot of like boilerplate code that I just need to deal with because it's C++ that I wouldn't need to deal with if I had my own language. Yeah, there's arguments for and against this, but yeah, that's just how I feel. It's like literally a third of my code is just editor code. I feel like I can reduce that by a lot. In my current language, I have runtime info, so I can make a widget that edits any data in like 3. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I want. Like, I want you to be able to define something like once as a type, and then you should be able to get a bunch of like editor stuff for free, basically. That's a big thing I want. Because like if I kept going down this editor route I'm doing right now, I think I'd pull my hair out. Oh yeah, it's like you said, I see what's ideal for early male baldness. Yeah, I didn't even see that before I said that. Exactly. With bad posture. I'm dead. But yeah, another thing too is just like I wrote all this code and I just felt so. I kept telling myself I'm gonna add tests. I'm gonna make it more secure. I swear, you know. And then the more code I add, the more I'm like, I'm never gonna do it. I mean, I have these testing modules, but like they're complete garbage. But again, like a natural argument to that is like, we'll just use another language that gives you better semantics. Like, yeah, that's completely fair. But the it's the design by contract. That's the idea I feel strongly about. So that's why I'm here. Another issue I see is that this code you showed has like 5 lines of actual code and other is keywords and brackets. This code you showed has like 5 lines of actual code and others is keywords. Oh wait, are you talking about like the one from Visual Studio Code I was just showing from the engine? Zaga? Yeah, it's like a whole bunch of just like opening and closing and then yeah, that's fair. I'm pretty sure if I just use the was it the KLR style, like I use the main and then like I use this versus just doing this, it probably reduced my like line count by like a third or something. but I mean, that's not a language thing. It's just like, other than if you want to use like Pascal, like begin and end or whatever, or Ada or whatever. But no, yeah, it's fair. Like what you're saying, like I mean, like public, private, like all of this like rigmarole just to get to your data. Yeah, I feel that. Making a game engine solo is a monumental task. Yeah, like at this point, I'm a little detached from the game engine idea as like just a project by itself. Yeah, I feel like it was initially inspired by like Cherno, like when I watched him. But now that I'm like this far into like these projects and whatnot, my opinion is more like, I think I'm just going to get this language working, and then I'm gonna get like a renderer working after I get the language done, and I'm just gonna directly write like maybe like 5 or 10 arcade games. I just want to like, and then just test out like the tools by themselves, like as just like a coding platform. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm probably just gonna write like independent tools, and then I'm gonna start like maybe at some point like daisy chaining them together to the point where like it feels like an engine, right? But at least this way I can start like making products, not just like this big behemoth engine. Yeah. Yeah, have you considered modifying a public domain? So like my whole thing about this, this whole situation is like, I just want to have control over like the whole thing. And again, the design by contract thing is I want to have certainty in like the things that I write. And also I also have a lot of fun just writing code just for the sake of like learning and like having fun too, like just for the software engineering sake by itself, right? So I like breaking things apart and like really learning it, and of course that is a bit like it's a little bit orthogonal to like like the idea of like releasing a commercial product as fast as possible, and I'm kind of okay with that. I'm not like, you know what I mean. So I'm not like, oh, I'm trying to get like an engine out like as fast as possible. Like if I was going to do that, yeah, I'd probably like modify like a public domain engine. I think I've seen some people in the like some of the discords who like do that like on top of like Godot or like Unity. They'll like kind of like take some of the bits they like and then they'll write their own framework on top of it too. Or I mean, nowadays people use like Raylib as like a base, for an engine. That's completely fair. But yeah, I just like having the control. It's more fun for me. And also I kind of feel strongly about like this project by itself too. Like I feel like if all I did was just work on this project and get it working, I would feel good about myself either way. Like this language. Because I kind of feel strongly about the design by contract idea. Easy API, draw mesh, draw sprite. Yeah, like some like just get something working, right? Yeah. Working on a framework to just make starting different projects simpler. I feel like that's like the way now, right? Like frameworks and stuff. So my whole thing, and I feel like the thing that I feel like the thing that people get caught up with really large projects is just keeping everything straight and keeping the bugs out, because like things like engines or like, you know, games have this property where like you have all these like connecting ideas, and then like the business requirements change, and then you know, you have this like one system that like depends on like 10 other systems, and they need to like gel well, right? And then you might have to adjust it, and you have to like break apart a system to like fix it up again so that it works with these other systems, and it's like a giant like nest, right? And a lot of the complexity and like development time really is just figuring out like the bugs, and just figuring out like, okay, like, can I make these things work together? And like, this thing that I wrote a long time ago, is it going to work with this new thing? And is it going to break some old assumptions that I made? Did I forget to, you know what I'm saying? I feel like if there was just some way to address that problem by itself, like that would solve a lot of headaches. Or that would fix a lot of headaches. I mean, like, because of course, like, that's the nature of like games, right? Like you are going to have a big mess of like interconnected systems that are going to need to get redesigned really quickly, because people have different business requirements and things change and blah blah. You know, it's just the nature of the beast, right? But if there was just some way to like define in your code specifically what you expect from the code, and when those things change, you don't have to like change huge swaths of your code to like change like your invariants or change your like your position on like how your code should be working, then you'd be more free to just move to the new design. If that, I don't know. I don't know if it makes sense. It's such a high level thing to say, so I know I could be saying something wrong. If you like breaking things apart, I recommend the Doom 3 engine. Plus, Doom 3 as a game has a lot of its code view, and apparently it's some of the most beautifully written code. It's written by John Carmack, the guy who... Yeah. I've heard a lot of good things about the Doom engine. No, actually, yeah, I was planning on like doing a little bit of research into like the bigger projects. Once I start, what is it called? Like, like I'm doing the initial language design, of course, but once I actually start like writing out the project, what is it called? I'm gonna need some inspiration and see like what pitfalls or whatever. I don't know, but yeah, I feel like I'm talking a lot. Let's see. This is. I hope the things that I'm saying is like you guys are like getting like what I'm putting down. I don't know. Traditional aggregate name. Oh yeah, but you know what? I will take that as a note though. Doom 3. Large project structure. I don't know. I really, it's hard to convey the idea of like design by contract without like having like a proper like I want to have like a proper like 40-minute video showcasing not only like the engine, but also like not the engine, the language, but also like what like how I feel about the idea of like design by contract, and then like how it can be like connected into one language, right? And it's hard to convey that and make it feel real unless you have like something like I can actually tangibly show you something, right? So that's just where I want to get. Like once I have something, then I can like kind of showcase it and then explain like the benefits and the drawbacks, you know. Decide whether standalone aggregates are useful. Yeah, like I feel like if I try and explain it right now, I'm just gonna sound like a crazy mess. So I'm not. I don't want to, you know. So yeah, I want to get to the point where my thoughts are all cohesive and I can explain it all together. Decide whether it's okay. So yeah, I really need to think about this. Positional aggregates. So yeah, I'm not going to make too many assumptions about the aggregates right now. I mean, they're cool as an idea by himself. If you use them to initialize a specific type, then it's usually pretty obvious, like, what the compiler errors are. But yeah, having them standalone is a little bit dubious, so I gotta be careful. But I will say, yeah, these can be used to positional could be opt-in via some attribute. Yeah, because I remember Zig. So I think someone explained the Zig system to me and how like it's like everything is basically like an aggregate, or like it's like, I don't know. It had this system where like types and everything kind of be interchanged with it, and then it like resolves down. I don't know. I didn't like that system. I feel like the opt-in, that's fair. I think opt-inness would be good. I personally don't like the fact that reordering fields can appear entire code if you just rely on positional. Yeah. Especially if you move around the arguments, but they still have the same type, then that can like fuck it up. Yeah, that wouldn't throw a compiler or anything. It's hard to make it tangible. I think we were similar in that way, taking on huge challenges and waiting for perfection before revealing. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's tough. I don't know. I really, yeah, I don't know. But again, I do feel good because I feel like I feel like the engine was sort of like a thing where I kind of already knew in the back of my mind that no one would probably use it. Probably be like just my own little project, you know. But I actually genuinely feel like this idea of like putting design by contract directly into a language, I feel like it's novel, and I feel like it's actually like useful. Design by contract is like really is already well documented and well studied, but it's just hard to get into. And I feel like if you just break down that barrier, I think that would be really useful. So I don't know. We'll see. Like I feel like this project by itself, like I feel more motivated to complete it. These can be used to wait, what was that note you said, Zaka? I personally don't like the fact that you can reorder. That's a good point. Yeah, and let me write that down. Careful with, like, unless there was some way to enforce that when you reorder it, that no, yeah, you can't really. Yeah, that's just by design. Oh, one idea I did have though, Zaka, the other day was that I know that I think this is something that I always want, but I haven't really seen like a language like go all the way in with the idea. Probably a reason why they don't want to. So you know how like Odin has like a distinct type for integer, right? I was thinking you can also add like with that distinct, if you decide that you have a distinct alias for a type, along with that you could associate more like metadata with that type now that it is distinct, right? Because I know that would probably solve that issue if you did like just it being distinct by itself would solve that issue. Because like if you like move the... Oh, well, no. If it's a literal, then it doesn't solve the issue, does it? No, yeah, that still wouldn't solve that issue in particular. But anyways, I guess regardless, I had the idea for distinct types, and then you could associate like free functions with the distinct types, or like properties, kind of like a, you know. I had this sort of idea, and then like let me know what you think. I'm gonna write down like a scratch buffer right here. So I know, okay, one thing I do want, and like I had some ideas to make sure that it was possible, was that I want to make sure that like one identifier always leads to like one thing. So like if you have like a function named aba, or like foo, right? That only references like one function. So there's not gonna be any function overloading, similar to like Odin and Zig, right? And that way, like if I reference a function, I don't have to do like some sort of like song and dance to get the actual like thing. But this is not just functions. This is just like, you know, in general, I want to have like one symbol leads to like one type, right? I was looking into like generics and how that would handle, you know. And I know for Rust they have like the traits. I think I was gonna call it interfaces. I know it's like overloaded because of OOP, but I think I just prefer the name. But I know I got to be careful with this because this can mess up this like rule, right? But I was thinking you could like define like a struct, like a new struct, or I'll just it's a struct is equal to I don't know about the terminal comment. I'll think about it. But val1 is i32, and then val2 is float, or f32. And then I was thinking that what was the idea? You could have sort of like a namespace like this, where you can put in like free functions, or it's kind of like a impl, like block in like Rust, but there's no like semantics of like if it's private or public or whatever, but you can like define all of your like functions, and there's no self thing or anything either. It's just like foo, and then you have like new struct reference. I'm just putting the C style because I'm so used to it, and then like i32 and then you define your stuff here, right? And then that way you could do sort of like, what is it called, like you could access like these functions through this type, you know. So it's kind of like leaning OOP, but it still has like free functions here. Like they're not actually like tied to it, but you can still use the dot operator, like new struct dot, and then like whatever, like function. And then if it's out and about, you could use like the universal, what is it, universal function call syntax. But it's not like a strict UFCS. It'll just be like, if you have the struct and it finds like a free function associated, it will autocomplete, but it will autocomplete into just the free function with the variable added as the first thing, like this, if it's outside of like this block. And then in this block you could still implement like a specific interface, but it would be in here. Okay, wait, sorry, I kind of I didn't read the comments for a bit. Let me see. Stability to change is key. Yeah, I was saying like some of those considerations in like the way Rust sets up some of their stuff. They, yeah, that's I really gotta think about that once I finalize the design. If I could make a game with my own engine, I would. I really believe an engine should be built for a game, not as some omnipotent ambidextrous system that does everything, ends up having a lot of bloatware. Unreal has so much bloatware. Yeah. I mean, I feel you, but I also don't have any issues with like people just using engines. But I think that's just sort of like something that you take on once you're using someone else's software. Is that the moment you kind of open yourself up to using someone else's software, it's like, okay, well now you need to take in all of the potential issues with that, and that's just sort of a trade-off, you know? Like ideally, if you can understand your whole system, then you can it can be tailored for that thing, and then yeah, like the whole issue of refactoring and cleaning up just becomes like way easier in debug, if especially if it's like a solo project. But yeah, I don't know. It's like imp something and then you put methods or constants inside, like in Rust, about putting stuff on top of type alias. Yeah. So that's kind of what I was getting at, was that like you could have like an alias. Like, so this would be for like normal like structs or whatever, but you could associate whatever with it. Like if you have like I don't know what the alias syntax is going to be yet, but you have like i32 and then like name, right? And then you would, you know, have like distinct, I don't know what the syntax is going to like. But yeah, you could do like name or imp something or whatever. And then you could associate your functions here, right? And then that way, because I just find it so like obtuse that you have to like define like a struct or something just to get uniqueness out of like a single integer. Yeah. No, that's fair. But also like if there's any other like metadata information, like, you know, this also, there is another reason for this existing too. It relates to the design by contract system, but I don't want to get like all the way like into that because I feel like it's like a whole wrap. Again, like I want to explain that separately. But yeah, I feel like having like kind of treating like a distinct integer as its own type would be useful, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I feel like some of the organizational parts of like OOP are useful. It's just I just hate being locked into OOP. And as long as like there's definitely certain parts of like the way that I'm designing like the interface system, that where I'm still trying to keep it as explicit as I can, you know? Like I know Rust allows you to have like specialization. I don't want to have any specialization. I kind of figure like if you need that sort of like clarity, just update the template to, you know, or the interface to handle it, or make a new interface. And then I was thinking like you could just support like the C++ style automatic generics, right? At the beginning. So you can kind of just do whatever, but then it'll sort of like nudge you into using interfaces. But yeah, I know I gotta be careful with this trait interface thing with keeping all the names like unique. That was one of my rules, so I don't know. That was just an idea I had the other day. Because I just found a lot of times where I just want to have like a distinct integer and information associated, and I didn't want to write a struct for it. It was just annoying. Let's get rid of all this. Oh yeah, I had another idea the other day too. Was with this like template. Okay, so yeah, let me see. So reflect. I'm not too sure about the syntax yet, but you know, like maybe you can have like a reflect on top of like a type, and then that will give you like an info thing, and then from that you can read like compile time information from that like identifier, right? And then you could use that to like instantiate certain like types. Like you could like instantiate an aggregate for like a say like an argument pack. So it's like if you have like a function like func info is a function, or func info one, I guess. Info one is a type info. Reflect, and then we take like a foo function, right? Or let's do like an inline function. I do want to have those. So foo std.print hello world, or like std.debug, whatever the general libraries look like. Hello world. Reflect foo, and then it takes in like arg param 1 i32 param 2 f32, and then I'm not using it, so we'll see if that's an error or whatever. I don't know, but reflect, and then like from the type info, I don't know what the syntax is going to be, but it'd be like type info dot args, or no, func info 1 dot args. This could be like a type, and then you could initialize it with like param 1 dot param 1 is equal to 52, and then dot param 2 is equal to 2.4. And then you say like arguments arg pack. And then what you can do is like if you call foo, you could call it, and then you do like a dot arg pack. So it like like opens it up as the actual function arguments, right? Because you have that like tuple versus like tuple versus like if you had like a option of this at tick and a tuple, then that would break this, right? So you expand it. But yeah, you could just reflect on the arguments as a type, and then pass that in as a pack, and then you can kind of do processing on that beforehand. So it's just like a baked in, yeah, like argument pack, basically. Yeah, that was one of the ideas I had. I don't know. Potential. And then I was thinking you can also have it for like the return type, so you can like like handle that as like one argument. And what other like runtime information is necessary. Define aggregate. From function args. And then call function with expanded argument pack. Reflect on function info. Able to get function arguments to use function arguments. Use function arguments, return types, return type, etc. For runtime processing. Local scoped func. Name tuple instances from function argument pack. Call function with expand argument pack. Yeah, sure. Well, thanks for everyone sticking by and hanging out, guys. I appreciate it. Let's see. Whatchamacallit. Yeah, hopefully I'll I should be almost done, like moving this stuff over to the new design. Sure. Yeah, it's nice to see like familiar faces. Are you gonna get some? I don't know what time it is over there for you, operator. Are you gonna get some rest soon? Or... let's see. Wish out. Be a good rest, man. It's nearly 10 p.m. For sure. Yeah, it's like I think it's like 4 a.m. almost 5 a.m. over here. But I got like the inverted schedule, so I'm gonna take my girlfriend to the library pretty soon. Or no, to school. She has a class today. I'm gonna hang out in the library and code. No, for sure, yeah. Hope it's chill, man. If you got work, hope it's not too bad. Reflect on struct information. Let's see. I'm just gonna put a note here to say like, please finish this, yeah? Need to define reflectable struct information. Yeah, I had another idea for for my language. I don't want macros at all, like 0 macros. I know that reduces a lot of flexibility in the language, but I really feel like it really fucks up like understanding, like control flow, understanding of your program. But I do have like an idea for like code generation, like a replacement, because I definitely want to use code generation. One idea I had was like basically like you have like modules and submodules. So you have like a module, and then it has like, yeah, like submodules. Module 1 and submodule 2. And then what you can do is like you can declare a submodule or a module as being entirely code generated, and then the input for that module will be like compile time input information plus code gen rules, and then that way you kind of get a deterministic output of like what that's going to be, kind of like a glue or a, what was that other library people use, glad, yeah, where you get like the output for the function pointers to the hardware. Yeah. Hellside Kongru. Yo, what's up, Microwave Coffee? How's it been? How's your day going, man? Or ma'am, as I want to assume. I think this is good enough for the reflection. Let me get rid of some of this stuff. I think I was just talking in these parts. Oh, this is the new design stuff. Oh yeah, wait. This is actually important. Never mind. You're inventing a programming language? Yeah. I think I said on stream that I was going to be researching programming languages, but honestly, I've just been moving this file over. I had this file with like a bunch of notes from like a bunch of note ideas I had for my language, and I'm just organizing them into like something a bit more readable. You know what I mean? But yeah. Whatchamacallit, I don't know. We'll see how the project goes, right? I don't know, you're on YouTube. I was working on like a engine before. I'm still kind of working on that idea, but yeah, I feel pretty strongly about this. I don't know. So I mean, maybe I can kind of show you like the other languages that, like, I do have like a design goal, but like maybe I can kind of show you like the other languages I'm kind of like inspired by, and then like maybe that'll kind of frame it, I guess, you know. Where is the other? So right now I'm kind of it's like a, you know, like a systems, you know, like systems level language, you know. So that's kind of why I have some of these like inspirations right here, you know, like Rust, Zig, C3, Odin, right? So right now I'm kind of like looking through them and kind of like forming a syntax for it. But I would, if I had to like say like what the core like design goal, maybe I should write it down. Design goal. It's kind of like gonna be how do I want to say it? Like, I want a language where you can kind of start off and you kind of have the freedom of like C, right? With, you know, less of the undefined behavior and all that stuff, but you can kind of like write your code freely, and like the compiler doesn't get in your way. And then I want it to sort of like encourage you to move towards more like a strict definition of like your code, if that makes sense, right? Like it's kind of like how, like, you know, in certain businesses or whatever, they have like conventions for how they want you to write your code, like in a certain code base, but there's no actual like compiler level, like what is the word? There's no compiler level like restrictions on the actual code itself. Like, it's just sort of like the company is just saying like, hey, can you please do this, and if you don't, we're gonna get mad at you. My thing is like, the language is, I plan on making it like it's all gonna be one defined language, like single language. Like there's only ever one way to compile the language, but you can add like flags or whatever that can basically restrict your conventions on top of the language, right? Um, and then that'll lead you down like a certain path. Yeah. What is the design goal? Don't you end up with a subset problem, Lexi? Yeah. No. Like I do agree that this approach does lead you to like multiple ways of doing a thing, and yeah, that's fair. That is going to lead to like splitting of like code bases. Like one code base might look like this, another one will look like this. Like my thing is I'm going to define like one single canonical way that everything lowers into. Like there's like only a certain number of ways to do a certain thing, and that's it. I'm gonna try and define it once as like one big system, and then the easier versions of it are just sugar on top of like the more strict definition, right? But yeah, I do agree that you start approaching the C++ issue. Yeah, I'm I'm kind of okay with that. I think C++ just allows like too many things to just get added into the language in every single thing though. I'm not just gonna like start adding like every single feature ever. My thing is gonna be more like I have like one design, and then anything that's like an easier version of things is just syntactical sugar on top of the more complicated design. But there's only ever one language definition. If that makes sense. I don't know. Will you do your booleans like with 1 bit? I know that's like a whole thing, right? Like if you have like a array of bool, right? And then like what is it? Like if you have like a specialization of this like template type, you'll end up with one with like it, in the compiler level it's just like stores all of like the zeros and ones like this instead of being like the single byte ones. Um yeah, I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see. Um whatchamacallit, like how that's exactly gonna look. I don't know if I want that to be like a I do want to have enumerated arrays. I think I defined that somewhere. Let me see. Yeah, like this. Basically like you have like an enum that passes into like an array. And then you can basically treat this as like a like if you wanted to, like you could treat this as like the bit flag situation. And then there could just be like a compiler optimization somewhere that basically says, okay, we're just going to treat this as like zeros and ones, right? If it's or like you can have this on top of like a bool, right? And then you can get your optimization of that like there, right? So yeah, I think I mean I'll see, I'll see how the actual implementation goes. You know, everything is still kind of like up in the air as far as the design right now. But yeah, like I'm just thinking like I'm kind of thinking like the language sort of like lets you write your code like in a really shitty way in the beginning, and you can kind of just shoot yourself in the foot and fuck around, and then there will be a defined path towards code that will give you certain benefits, right? And maybe I can incentivize it in like, or I could frame it in that way, either from the compiler like messages or from where like if you follow these conventions in the language, you will see these benefits, right? And then if you enforce this sort of like style of programming, then you will see this particular type of benefit, right? I could kind of frame it that way, right? And then that way, like if a company decides to have a certain convention on how they write their code, they can enforce that in their code base, right? And they can kind of just stay in that like module or whatever. But that way, like, but of course, all these flags and everything and all that, like, they're not configurable or anything. It's just how I define my language, right? So there's only a certain set of things you can do, right? It's not it's not like open-ended where it's like a second macro system or some bullshit. I remember when C++ did tuple destructure. That was so sweat. I mean, I'm definitely going to use like tuple destructure. It's so convenient. But I mean, that's just going to be like, just the tuples are like going to be a big part of the language anyways. But I know that comes with its own headache, so I don't want to just say that and then, yeah, I need more research to properly think about the edge cases. Braces or indents? Braces, definitely. I like being able to put things at different lines and it doesn't break things. Have a good stream, man. I'm off to bed. See you next time. Sure. See you, operator. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you, man. Everything goes well. But yeah, definitely braces. Microwave. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is once I like finalize all these designs and stuff, I'm probably going to choose a subset that I actually need for the to bootstrap the compiler. I'll just start with those ones first and get them working. But I just want to make sure that everything kind of is cohesive, I guess, first. Yeah, ESP and the agent those braces really do help. Yeah, and I'd rather have like consistency in that part. Same thing, I think in some cases, like I don't use, like here, I just decided I wanted to put the parentheses around the enum. I know it's extra tokens, but I think I prefer the clarity. I don't know, at some point I need to like do a pass and make sure everything's consistent. I don't know, I like the style better. It's just me, I don't know. I know it's extra typing. Destructuring, I know this goes with, oh yeah, you were saying with aggregates. That was the note. Okay, wait. Careful with positional arguments. If someone redefines a redefines / reorders an argument list, it can lead to silent, can lead to silent errors. And in the tuples, in aggregate, or in the function call. Yeah, that's completely fair. Named aggregates. I remember when people did. Let's see, braces, ESP. Yeah, I'm gonna see how the language goes, but yeah, again, the core thing, there's two languages that I'm taking like inspiration from. It's Ada. Maybe I'll put a link for you. This one, and then the Eiffel. Let's put the Wikipedia for you. Yeah, these are the two languages that like the core idea of my language is going to be. It's basically just the design by contract idea. I was looking at the Ada syntax too. It's interesting. It kind of has some Pascal stuff, and then like it has like this declare block that's like I hate it, but I kind of get why they did it. But it makes the code look so like, I don't know. It's like the nested blocks go crazy with it. It's ridiculous. But yeah, the contract stuff is like the central part that I feel strongly about. Positional aggregate named aggregate. So yeah, I mean, for now I'll keep this as like a thing. But yeah, I gotta think about the actual semantics of this. Can initialize variables with aggregate. So yeah, the normal one is a struct. Let me think. Is there any other types that make sense? That'd be good. As a tuple, because usually, yeah, I would either, if you have a tuple, yeah, normally if you have a tuple, then you would initialize it with some sort of like type. I always hear Ada Lovelace, and then was it Charles Babbage? Was that his name? That was the team. Everyone forgets about Charles Babbage, I guess. I don't know. I don't know my computer science history that well, but apparently it's they're important, you know. These can be used to oh, actually, I'm not even sure if I want this as a syntax. Now that I think about it, actually, let me be careful with this. Be careful with this. Still deciding. Barrels Babbage. Barrels Babbage. That's fire. Still deciding if they are initializable on their own, like if that's even worth doing. That opens up like a whole can of worms. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. That's pretty good for an aggregate. I just need to figure out if their file level makes sense. Yeah. Oh yeah, arrays. Is arrays? Yeah, it's a structure. These two things aren't particularly orthogonal, honestly, but whatever. Love that word, man. Orthogonal. How's it going? What's up? How you doing, man? Well, welcome to the stream. It's pretty chill. Subset problem. What? That's not a feature. That's a feature, not a problem. I'm dead. Let's see. What did I put the? Oh no, I didn't. Okay. I thought I was tripping for a second. Yeah, we're gonna stand by all the iffy features. We're gonna stand by every iffy feature that pops up from language. I'm just gonna stand by and say, yep, that was all intentional, completely intentional. Templates being Turing complete. Yep, totally. So totally wanted that. Yeah, who doesn't? And I'm unironically defending it too. Your Twitch link state is still. Oh, is it really? Oh, it's not good. Yeah, I did change the name. Hey, there's 4 people watching. Hey, thanks 4 lurkers. Or 3 lurkers plus microwave. Guys. Appreciate it. Let me see. Which, oh yeah, I think it's, there's no one called LC Streams anymore. It's now LSI Kong. Wait, let me see if I fixed it on my at least here. Okay, at least that one works. That's good. Yeah, I think in the comment section, I gotta fix that. It's like copying from the previous stream, and I think it was broken or something. So that was my bad. I'll just write a note here. Yeah, what's up, like, what the hell is going on? Oh, is Ghost Stories the anime? I never watched that one, but I saw some of the English dub stuff. Wait, is that the anime? I don't. I might be thinking of something else. Separate weekly release, weekly language editions, 3-year like. wait. Okay. I unironically don't know. What is like a decent language release cycle? Yeah, I mean I think a lot of the people use this cat. I kind of wanted to change the cat, honestly. I wanted to like make my own avatar, but the cat's adorable though. Not gonna lie. The mouth tracking isn't that great though. I'm not gonna lie. It's like, yeah, no. Implicit. Okay, so arrays. Yeah, I was gonna do the arrays section. Yeah, this was supposed to be a stream of me like looking at Rust, but yeah, I'm still organizing stuff. According to Anthropic, you need to release every week now, or you'll fall behind. new release of day 1 bugs. Nope. Yeah, we'll see what this AI thing turns into. I don't know. I genuinely love coding, so I thought about giving it up a few times, but I can't, man. It just keeps bringing me back. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, all those people are just trying to get like, what is it, PR, because they're trying to get their next round of funding. Let's see. Implicit array. Do I want to define arrays at the file level? Yes, that makes complete sense. So we'll do that. So do array 1, I32. Implicit size. Let's be specific. Array 2. Yeah, I am using the rest syntax. Oh yeah, Zuck, I remember you telling me like this is the best syntax for slices. I saw someone uses the dot dot for slices. I'm a little impartial now. I don't know. I know this one kind of conflates with the range thing. So now they're kind of both, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I mean, the only thing is just like the empty brackets. Like, I mean, I guess it's one of those things where it's like you get used to the language as you write it, right? But was because I remember when I wrote the ranges thing, and I was deciding between like this and then like 0 dot equals 5, and then this just being like implicitly like 0 dot 5, and then I remember like it kind of just depends on like where that programmer comes from, right? Like how they interpret this part, because in certain like in most normal programming circles, like this is from 0 to 4 because, you know, normal for loop. But then like I know some people that work in like certain domains expect the other way. So I just decided that like this was more clear, you know. And I was kind of the same thing with like arrays, because I know typically when you look at a C-style array, you think, oh yeah, this is just a implicit like sized array, you know, when that's this, right? The need to interpret it all is an issue already. One person will assume inclusive. Yeah. So that's why I decided to just leave it like this. Like it's either this or this. You have to always be explicit, because I felt like that assumption was already confusing to begin with. But for this one, I was like, I don't know, because this by itself doesn't really communicate much information at all, you know? I mean, unless you know the language and then you know that it's empty slice, then you're like, okay, cool. I don't know. Oh, okay, yeah. With the type, yeah. So if you have those with the thing. Wait. How did I define my slices? That's a fair point, yeah. Dot, because I have these ones like this, and then what was the slice syntax? It was for a range. And then this would give the full scope of the thing to that. And then this would go here. Yeah, so like this is my current slice syntax, right? It's the empty along with the I32. So I'm thinking like one thing I was thinking was just like never have an empty one. It's either this or that, you know. It's either an empty array or it's a I don't know. I get what you're saying. It's always in context, yeah. I'm gonna put a note for myself somewhere in here. still want to think about. I mean, one thing I'm definitely not doing is the Zig null terminator thing. That's ridiculous. Or the Zig sentinel array. Like we will be dealing with C style arrays, but like I don't think it needs to be a language construct. Slice versus array versus I don't want to say dynamic rate. Dynamic. No, that doesn't sound right. Now I'm thinking of a vector or C++ vector versus n sized array, implicit sized array. Actually, let's do this. Do this. What's with the colon equals assignment? Oh yeah. I just stole the Pascal thing or the Odin or whatever. What is equal? So it's either going to be one or the other. This is actually that's actually a bug right there. So it's not supposed to be like that. So it's basically there's like an implicit version and like a explicit version, right? So there is two ways to do the same thing. But yeah, if you want to have like a what is it, val1, you can do it like this. I32 is equal to 24. Val2 is equal to 24, right? But I am going to be careful with this. So like I think the semantic distinction between this is that like I'm not exactly sure yet if I want to take the Zig approach or like the Go approach. Because I know Go is like more you need to define everything, and like if you have some sort of literal, it needs to be in some sort of context immediately. And I know Zig kind of lets that slide for a bit until it as long as it can verify it at compile time, you know. I'm not sure which side of the fence I am on, but no matter what, everything should always lowers to this. So when I pass it into the it'll lower to something like this. He said, yeah, infer. Yeah, I mean, I'm just explaining infer. Yeah. It's optional type equals. So it's not an operator then. Oh, you were wondering like if it was like a special. Yeah, no. It's just implicit. Yeah. Was there? My brain. I'm like, was I saying anything else? I don't think so. Yeah. Yeah, I remember last time What's Up was working on the serialization system. Where it was like a... But I remember you have other projects though. What's Up? That was just the one that I remember. Enumerated array. Implicit. Yeah, I think I fucked up the text on that one. Definitely. Okay, so what are these? I think I already made it clear in my definitions that, yeah, like file level variables are just they have static lifetimes and they're file local. Again, I did like Zig's whole like thread local keyword. I thought that was kind of cool. I might just take that as a note. Might use thread local for but then at that point it's kind of formalizing like global variables or file level, which I'm like, should I even be doing that? I don't know. But thread local is, I think, still a useful idea for static. Might include thread local modifier for formalizing. Let me just make it a thing. Might include thread local modifier for formalizing thread safe variables. Safe static variables. Static. I mean, I'm not even sure if they really are static. I mean, yeah, this is static variables. I'm dead. Array canonical. Oh yeah, and then I need to do module examples. My current module thing. I don't know. Let's get rid of that. I was talking about ranges or something. I don't know. Implicit size array 1. Array 2. Implicit size and implicit super implicit. My brain. Let me think. Implicit size array. Size. Implicit and inferred. Inferred. There you go. File level arrays. Yes, 1.3 and dynamic rendering. 1.3 baseline required. Multi-draw indirect. Runtime descriptor array. Scalar block layout. M4 dynamic rendering. 2. I'm gonna act like I know what all those words mean. Yeah, this is like an implicit enumerated array, but yeah, I don't like this idea. Honestly, I'm probably just gonna remove this. I'll probably just make a note that these must be explicit, so that this just seems like ridiculous. I might actually make this comment longer. cannot be declared implicitly unless obvious. Obvious, like L value or whatever. Yeah, because this is just stupid. Yeah, I don't like that. Dun, 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 dun. So this kind of implies like the syntax for these enums as well. But yeah, we should know because of this. It's kind of fair. I also need to figure out semantics of multi-dimensional arrays. I don't even know how far along I want to get with that. Probably have to deal with some problems before I need to think about it. I suppose this is a fair comment, like somewhere. File local array. And I think everything else can probably just go into the probably just going to main, yeah. Okay, good. Is there anything else I wanted to say about this? I don't think so. Yeah. I mean, this structure already gives me a natural like thing. That's what the modin was, but yeah, that should be fine. Whatever. Okay, what else? Slices, right? I think slices go naturally with arrays, right? The ranges are a separate thing. Yeah, we'll just put it in with the array section. No, you know what? We'll make slices a separate thing. Slice. I want mobile support, so either go full-blown render passes or dynamic rendering with passes. I need to fix my Vulkan metaloader to forward Vulkan.xml. My generic code is kind of annoying. Yes, I agree. we keep acting like I understand. Let's see. Let's see. This one. Slice. Definition. Declaration, I guess. Let's see. Slice. So we'll keep this for now. Is equal to, and then test array. Yeah, we'll make like a implicit array. It's probably the clearest. Less than 5. Third slice. Test array. And I'll probably make a note up here just discussing the different types. I'm not gonna write all the details just yet. Just get this over and then get rid of that. Slice. We are fixed view into a, and right now I'm going to keep it contiguous, or I mean, no, I wouldn't keep making a slice contiguous. What am I talking about? Fixed view into, I'm thinking of like stepped ranges or something. Fixed view into a contiguous block of memory, at least for now. Fundamentally stores a data pointer and a size. Can be specified size / location of view can be specified using range. And then we'll put it like this. Yeah, it would be nice to have an LSP right now. I asked many people, most of them recommend dynamic rendering, but they support mobile GPU, which needs render paths for optimization. Dynamic rendering local read attention to add subpasses to dynamic rendering, limited news, and not many devices support yet. Just. How is the mobile support for Vulkan? Is it pretty good? Mostly just like newer phones, or I think slices are good. Defer, yeah, definitely. I want to think about the semantics of defer. I know they differ. That doesn't make sense. Control blocks, casting, this giant casting thing. Yeah, it's disgusting, but I guess it's just the considerations of casting. I kind of skipped casting in Zig. Zig is super explicit about the casting. I don't know. That's one of those things I need to nail down properly. Yeah, the one thing that I really love from Zig and I am stealing is the separation of a pointer. The idea of nullability and a pointer are like separate things. I really love that. I don't think Odin does that. Okay, let's add a function though. New file, function. I don't know about the phone market. I just plan for the future. They deprecated render passes in 1.4. Oh, I got you. Oh, they deprecated it. Oh, shoot. Sure. Again, I plan on starting my Vulkan journey pretty soon after I get this basic language stuff done. So hopefully I can join you guys in knowing what y'all talking about. Main equals I want to put like an optional comment here. Specify when main is required. I mean, I get like if it's an executable, you need some sort of main somewhere, right? But I know some languages have like this thing where you have to specify, like include something so that you can specify a main, and then like it requires you to specify that main. I don't know. Like some languages have more semantics surrounding where to put main. And also, I kind of like Zig's approach to inserting like a init block, so you can have like various like platform information passed directly into like that init struct, and then you just use that. I mean, for now, I'm gonna keep it simple, just command line arguments, but I might think about that. Might use a init struct to handle different platform requirements / information. And then I'll put like a thing saying main entry points of executable into this program. It's kind of obvious, isn't it? Can optionally add a slice, a null, a string slice as parameter for CMD. So yeah, I do intend to do that at the very least. How main get infer return type? So I mean, I would assume it just returns void, or I mean, like what do you call it? Like I'll just like wrap the actual main in some code, you know, like whenever you generate the final executable, whatever. Because of course you need to return something, right? But yeah, if I just don't specify return type, it just assumes you don't return anything. Because yeah, of course, program needs to exit close something, but I would just assume kind of like C++, if there's nothing on the main return, it just doesn't, you know. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I don't know what the return semantics. Maybe I should figure that out. What beside the return semantics of main. Again, I was just thinking of just defaulting to the C style of doing it for the return type. But of course, in C you put void. I was just not going to put a return type. But yeah, you can definitely specify an exit code though. You should be able to do that. So if you put something like this, I would assume like convertible to I32, something like that. I'm still trying to figure out what my implicit conversion semantics are going to be. So I'm not entirely sure about that yet. Yo, Solacorium, what's good? Hello to you too. On desktop OS, they usually return an int, but on Windows it uses 16-bit. Right, on Linux it's 32-bit range RCs. There's no rules embedded, I think. Okay, so yeah, it just depends, yeah. I mean, again, I do plan on actually like wrapping the main. Like that's why I was saying like I might do the init struct too, because I know there's like platform information I might want to grab, right? And might want to have that available. And of course, right now I'm transpiling into C, so I would just wrap the actual main. It's like a separate thing, you know. Maybe try to like explicitly convert whatever the value is into the platform type. But yeah, I don't know all the. Yeah, I gotta think about it. I'm gonna call you a Sola for short though. Hope it's going well, man. Welcome to the stream. If you have any questions, just let me know. I think I've been on stream for a minute, so we're just. Oh, what am I doing? I have this like file of like a bunch of notes I took. Kind of designing the language. Like some of them were my ideas, but I was mostly just researching Zig. I was planning on going through the Rust docs right now, but I guess I just kind of spent most of my time just moving over a lot of this stuff and talking about it. But yeah, that's fine. No worries. I'm well. Hope everyone else is well. I think everyone's chilling. Everyone's this is a pretty regular crowd. Sokka, what's up? They pop in sometimes. I think there's some like lurkers on YouTube, but yeah. But yeah, this is my language. Not really. I'm still kind of working out like the design for it, I guess. I got like a basic parser and like tokenizer, parser, and like codegen. It transpiles my language into C currently. That all works. It does like this is like an example of a test program. I'm gonna see if it still compiles. It should. Let's open the terminal here. Let's see if my thing still works. Yeah, here we go. It just says the compiler failed to execute. I think KG. I think I put like a -v option for like verbose. When yeah, I feel like this should just give me this information regardless. That's kind of silly. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I gotta fix that. But yeah, -v. That's not really verbose. That's just what it should return. Where's the file? ./test.kg. Let's see if it works. Yeah, there you go. So this was the generated C code. I always insert these like, these are just functions to get things working first. Just so I'm just going over printf. What is it? Yeah, it generates this type def, and then this is the output from the program. So yeah, it basically ran this code. So I got it working, and then my next goal was to like bootstrap the language, but then I sort of realized to make it like useful, I needed to like kind of rethink the design a little bit. I guess the main thing was I needed to get arrays and slices working. Everything else, I just kind of went down like a rabbit hole of like design. But yeah, right now I plan on going through a few languages, kind of using like Odin, Rust, Zig, and C3 as like my initial like inspirations. I'm using Ada and Eiffel as like my inspiration for design by contract. It's like an idea. And then I think at the end I'm going to go through like Kotlin, Swift, C#, Go. I hear some good things about them with like delegates and async and some other things. And at the very end I'm going to look at C, just to kind of compare like, you know, like can we still do C things? C kind of things at the end of it after all this complexity I added. Add some other stuff I wanted to look at too, like some functional languages like, you know, JavaScript, TypeScript, just for like web programming. I don't know, just anything to learn from that. And some other options too. But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. Yeah, again, if you have any questions, just let me know. I'm just kind of chilling and moving the stuff over. Zaka and what's up, we're talking about Vulkan, so. I don't know, I haven't gotten into Vulkan, so I can't say anything. Let's see, slices. Oh yeah, so I think I finished fixing this up. I can't remember if I was doing anything else. Aggregates, you know. Oh, I think it was functions. Yeah, I was setting this one up. So yeah, putting some notes about main. I was like, I'm not really sure exactly how I want to handle all this stuff yet. It's a lot of things to consider about main. It all transforms into different things on different platforms. And a lot of platforms, you don't even really define main. You have to like call from like a different context. It's kind of weird. Yeah, minimal canonical function. I should probably put a note. So functions like a multi-line comment. So I'll say return. Something I hate about the VS Code with these notepad things. Return value is optional, but enforced if declared. A few other things. I see the Rust and Zig influences from the little Zig I know. I don't know Odin or C3. Any features from them that you particularly like? Yeah, like so I went through Zig and a little bit of Odin. I still haven't done a full pass through Odin yet. So but I do like Odin is like doesn't put as much like stuff on you as Zig does, you know? Like Zig is like very, very like intentional with the whole like no hidden control flow, no like, you know. And I chose to look at Zig first because I feel like that was kind of the closest to what I was thinking of from the language design, I guess. Let me see. C3 I haven't gone through yet, but I wanted something that I wanted to look at something that really tried to like at its core like replace C, and that was kind of also like an inspiration of mine. Was like I just wanted, I think everyone, or I don't know, like a lot of the people I've seen like usually want the freedom of C, but just with a few more guardrails, right? So I wanted to see like a language that like, you know, like that was its main mission statement. So that's kind of why I put that on there yet. Put that on there. But you should, yeah, you should take a look at Odin though. Like, I think there's a lot of good things about it. There's a few things I disagree with on Odin. Phil C. I'm not. Yeah, I mean, like, writing garbage collection into the core of the language and not being able to like overwrite it, or like not being able to manage your memory directly. Yeah, I'm like, nah. But having a way to make that sort of thing easier, I'm not against, you know, like memory management. I've been kind of going back and forth with the way Jai and Odin do the context variable. I know Odin does it because of libraries, and then I've been low-key seeing a lot of the similarities between Odin and Jai now that I've been looking into Jai a little bit more. And like, yeah, Odin really took a like heavy inspiration from Jai for a lot of things. Especially the like, yeah, the reasoning behind like, yeah, the context thing, like it's like almost one to one. But Jai is more like open with its context pointer. I don't know if you know what I mean by like context pointer or whatever, but Phil C, I haven't seen that before. Let me take a look. I just point out context pointer because it reminds me of like a similar way to like kind of still be able to assign like memory allocation schemes to things without it being like super verbose for everything, because like in some things it's like it's a little annoying having to pass in a allocator into every single little thing, which Zig just forces you to do, which I'm not particularly against. I'm just like, I don't know. Fill C is just memory tagging and validation top of C, not a separate lang. It's a patch clang. Oh, really? Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. Implementation of C++ and runs on Fill C with 0 minimal changes. All. So it's like C, but they just decided to like add a few extra little like bits on top, but it's still basically C. Memory tagging and validation. It's based on the recent version of Clang, but supports all. Unbelievable C compiler. For sure. Oh, that's cool. This plays values a pointer represented in see. Okay, wait. Let me come back up. How Fill C works. Yeah, let's see. I'm seeing by transforming all unsafe operations in LLVM IR into code. There's dynamic checking to catch all violations of Fill C's rules. Most of this transforming operations. Also written about issues with it is that you need to remake all your dependencies to be also compatible. Oh, because it fundamentally needs to check all of those too. Or like it has to I got you. Be written in the same way, basically, or compiled in the same way. Yeah, not written, compiled in the same way. Yeah. Could work with a variety of data, including if sufficiently, however, they can produce the best guarantees with the GC. Disable all pointers to memory that was freed, so use after free. I'll get to panic for reasons. All it really rely on runtime. Do you use this one? Sola? Filcy? Also, when was this created? Yeah, like that's what I was thinking Valgrind, but I didn't want to say it. But I know this is like GC, so like well yeah, you're saying memory tagging validation, so yeah, that just reminds me of Valgrind basically. Yeah, yeah. I mean, isn't that what garbage collection is anyways? Plus, garbage collection adds a whole bunch of extra bullshit to it as far as like performance wise. Yeah. Sorry if I'm talking smack. I'm just I'm not particularly against garbage collection as a concept. It's just being forced into it. I'm like, mm. Stack Dijkstra accurate, non-moving using see. I might look at this just for the sake of like tooling. I might also get some of my inspiration from like it's having memory checks in some capacity. But of course, you might need to like write the code in a certain way where you can do the memory checks. I don't know. What are we saying here? Okay, yeah, that's what I was. I was thinking about Valgrind. Yeah, we're just gonna see if Rust. I'll look into it. Not a standalone language, but interesting idea though. Yeah, but there's more like issues that I have with C than just like memory management though. Oh, the music stopped. Let's see. Hmm. Thoughts on Rust? I don't like the macros, but you can say that about like not to have an issue with like the Rust implementation of macros. I just don't like macros. It just it confuses me. I do like the idea of like being able to ensure that your code is memory safe without having the without having to like succumb to like GC, you know. But one thing I don't like about Rust is just like how hard it is to like get your code to like run, right? Like it's hard to experiment in the language. Um, like I get why that's like a whole that's the whole point of Rust, right? But um, yeah, it just seems limiting. I'd rather like you know, memory safe code is not hard when programmers use good practices instead of heap allocating everything. Yeah, like that classic like stack versus heap split. I think everyone's kind of like mentally like I don't want to say the word locked in to that. God damn it. Like yeah, that's like the general memory management idea people have, right? I remember seeing someone talk about like the idea of Rust of like if you do write Rust code, then it fundamentally shows you the issue with not allocating your memory in a way where you're doing it in bits and pieces, you know, like doing it in more of a system managed way. Is like the natural answer to like not letting the thing, but it's I don't know, it's still just like I'm kind of the like I'm kind of the opinion, and that's like why I'm writing my language, that like you should be able to write your code the way you want and then enforce it exactly in that way, right? And that's not just memory management. And also I feel like Rust or I feel like the Rust community over pushes the fact that like with these things, like Rust code is just inherently like going to be safe, when like that's not true, you know? Like, yes, you can have fearless concurrency, but you can still have a whole bunch of like like, you know, like concurrency issues with it. It's just certain classes are harder to do, you know? When the actual solution to the problems was just to code it in a certain way where those things just are, you know, you can just solve the problem, right? That's why I feel strongly about like the design by contract design by contract thing, because you can just define the requirements of your code based on like you know, the actual invariants of your code and the actual things that you care about, and you can just enforce those things, right? And then the syntax of the language just helps you do those things, right? But that way, like, you have enforceability about like the conventions that you care about, and then those things will help you towards your particular goals, right? Instead of just blanket sake, instead of like treating all developers like they're dumb and they can't deal with things themselves. Good for big projects to make sure nobody can fuck up with the memory. Yeah, yeah. I mean, but I feel like that, and then yeah, you still get like the C-ish like performance, you know. Especially you just need some like people to hop on and write some code. I feel that for Rust, you know. Again, I think I just have different opinions on how I want to write my code, you know, than Rust. But yeah, like I kind of like Zaka said, like I feel like it's not a bad thing. Like, I don't know. For that particular like case, like if you have a big project, people can't fuck up the memory management. You can say the same thing about garbage collection, but now you're inheriting all the performance issues too. Same thing with RAI, like it technically solves the problem, but then you're inheriting all the issues with it too. Oh yeah, I started writing the slice thing and I never... Oh, did I? I didn't lose my slice stuff. I mean, it's in version control, so I guess it's fine, but did I delete it? I think I did. That's annoying. Let's go to my GitHub. Let's see. Are they going to start charging us for GitHub, I guess? Or did I put the slices into the array section? But yeah, so that's my thoughts about Rust. I don't know. I'm still gonna use. I'm gonna look through Rust and take some of the ideas though. I just still feel like having a core part of the language that's easy to work with is always will make it easy for people to like get in and experiment with code. I think Rust fundamentally like disagrees with that. Where was I? Wait, what did I just? I'm starting to get sleepy. Where did this one go? Did I put it in the array section? Wait. No, I did fill slice. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about, man. Okay. Return value is optional, but enforced if declared. Yep. I feel like it'd be nice to kind of have like a markdown light kind of thing here. Like if you had like a dash and then you have the thing. When it reads the dot comments, it can like check these things. But gotta be careful how far I go with that. And also only in dot comments too, not in these comments. Yeah, I'd probably want to start generating the output before I start adding all that complication though. Return value is optional but enforced if declared. Functions, function type can be inferred. Yeah, and then this is a function type pointer, which is separate from like a function or a function type name or identifier, I guess is better. I don't know. Versus like a function pointer, which would need to be fully qualified with the signature too. Like this has all of the like the the AST information or whatever, or the I'm jumbling my words, but it would have all the parse information. But yeah, function pointers is a different beast you need to think about. Ooh, but I definitely want to have like local functions. I wonder if you made like a syntax like this. I wonder if that would be useful. If you had like a syntax like this and then you just run a bunch of your like stuff through here. And like a semicolon here. This could be like, oh, it's just calls this function directly here. But I mean, at that point, it would basically just be a block statement, which is just will be a block statement with arguments. So yeah, I don't know how useful that is. Just do a block statement. Oh, well, I I suppose the benefit of that would be like if you did do this and everything was passed in as an explicit argument, then it would be really easy to take it out and move it into another function, or like make it a standalone function. Yeah, I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna put a note on the fill C. Wait. Did I not? I thought I put it there. Oh. Memory tooling. Fill C. I'm also just gonna look at Valgrind too. inferred. Each point of executable into this program can optionally be a string slice as a parameter for CMD. Minimal inferred function. Oh, I feel like another cool thing you could do. I was thinking. But the semantics of, yeah, actually I'm not sure about the semantics of that yet. I'll leave it alone. That'd be kind of inconsistent. Main entry point executable into this. Can optionally add a string slice as a parameter. I think that's good, actually. Was there anything else I wanted to say about it? I guess not. Declared. Oh, well, maybe I can make a scope level function, so. Scope level functions. And I got to be careful of the distinction between scope level function and a functor. Is it the same thing? I don't know. Func. Foo bar czar. Print. I'm gonna make the print thing more consistent in a minute. Let's see. Hello. From czar. And czar. Definitely be able to do that. Call czar. Foo. And then func. Mutable. Yeah. Bar. R. I32 and I64. Yeah, this has a whole bunch of conversion implications I haven't thought about yet. 24. 2. Results. Let's return it, yeah. Invocations. Okay. Small talk. Okay, defer. Defer, reflection. And then loops, if statements. Type association boundaries. This kind of goes in a particular place. Aliasing. I'm not even sure what the syntax is supposed to be with this. More bits about reflection, and then something I was talking about and didn't finish. Okay, let's put this with reflection though. Didn't I? I thought I discussed reflection somewhere. Or maybe that was in this thing I just copied. Never mind. Ret pack, something like this. Yeah. Let's just toss this stuff in there. We'll come back to this. Please organize this. Let's see. Ooh, okay. I'm getting kind of lazy, but I want to finish this. How long have I been streaming for? Not too long. 4 hours. Defer. Boots with the fur. Okay, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna take like a 10-minute break. I think my brain's stopped working for a bit. Alright, so I will BRB. Oh wait, actually, I just realized. I think in about an hour I gotta go. I gotta go drive somewhere. So, yeah, I think I might actually have to get off. Let me get back to the BRB though. But yeah, I think I might go take a shower, go eat something, just get ready. So yeah, I guess that'll be the end of the stream. Sorry for the sudden end. I don't know if anyone's still following or whatever, but if you're lurking or chilling, thanks for hanging out. Let me see how many people are watching on here. Let's see. Oh, there's like one. Okay. So, for the one person on Twitch, thanks for hanging out. Let me check on YouTube though. Remember there was a few lurkers, but I don't know if they're chilling. Oh, okay. So I think it quieted down. All right. Well, thank you for the for the one person watching on both sides. Appreciate y'all. It's cool hanging out, talking. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end the stream. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say. I don't think so. I might I might stream tomorrow. I think I have like an empty day, so Yeah, I'm gonna see. I'm gonna try to get some progress done when I go to the library, so I'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's it. Later.